Hey everybody! So thanks for clicking that thumbnail, and I hope you enjoy the video. And the video is going to be about the top two centers on each team. I'm going to be doing a three-part series, so this is part one, and this is going to be based on the Atlantic Division. So I'm going to rank the teams in the Atlantic Division based on their top two centers. There's going to be the part two, and the part two is about the possibility of an all-Canadian division. So there's been talk about the possible all-Canadian division for a little bit of for a little while now. And Gary Bettman, I saw, release something saying that the NHL is checking into a possible temporary realignment for next season. And if that is the case, then they're looking at making one of the divisions an all-Canadian division. So therefore, I'm going to be doing that, ranking those teams. That's 7 Canadian teams. And then third part of this series will be ranking the whole league from top to bottom. We'll be actually from bottom to top, so from 31 to 1. And yeah, we'll take a look at that. So it is the off season. There's not a lot of things happening, especially when you're a channel like me that you cover only one team, and I do only cover the Habs. So it kind of makes it a little more difficult to find news and things happening. So I'm going to be doing a look at these kind of rankings. I already did the goalie tandem, so if you want to check that out, there's 3 videos ranking goalie tandems in the exact same way. I'm going to be doing wingers, defense core or defense group, and starting goaltenders as well. So hopefully you'll check that out, and that'll get us closer to the possible start as we await the announcement for when the next season is going to possibly start. So hopefully you'll find it interesting, and we're going to get right into it. I'm not going to talk anymore about it. And so if you look over here, if you anybody worried? No, these aren't the rankings. These are the teams listed in alphabetical order. And what I have here is the top 2 centers on each of those teams, plus their points totals. I didn't put goals and assists because we really only need to look at their points totals to make, for me, this is what I'm making the judgment on, what they did last season, what I think they might do next season, how I feel about them from what I've seen. I didn't do a really super deep dive into their stats and everything and spend hours at it, honestly. But this is how I feel it'll turn out. So we're gonna add up. We added up the points totals, as you can see on the board, and we'll go through it, and we'll start with number 8. So we have, I think I'll do red this time. If you go by the points totals, you have at the top. Oh, I forgot somebody's points. I happen to know them offhand, so it's not a problem. Leading the pack, and that's why this one is super important, is Toronto with 140, and it goes all the way down to Ottawa with 60 points from their 2 centers. So I think it makes it obvious that Ottawa's 2 centers are definitely not up to par here, and they're going to finish at the bottom. So we got Ottawa at number 8, and you look, they've got Colin White, Chris Tierney. Neither of those really are a top 1 or 2 center on any team other than maybe Ottawa, and you can tell by their points totals, 23 for Colin White, 37 for Chris Tierney, and it's just not enough. They did not pick up Quinton Byfield at the draft. That was the top center available. They didn't pick up a center in the first round, so I don't know if they have who they have in their pipeline that could possibly change this look. So we're going to go with them there. They need to improve their centers. You need to be solid down the middle. If you want to be a contender and win the cup, you've got to have a strong 1-2 punch down the center. It's almost necessary. So number 7, we have, let me check my list so I don't make a mistake. Up next, and you can go by points totals, I do believe they're the next lowest. That is Detroit, and Detroit is the next team. So Detroit has Dylan Larkin, who I like a lot. I think he's a legitimate future 1 or 2. He's still young. He's still growing into it. I think he's going to be a really good, solid player for them. And then you have Valtteri Filppula. Now, I checked on this. Now, it might change come camp. They might have somebody else filling in there, but I don't know that yet, so you got to take this into account. He had 21 points to Dylan Larkin's 53. I think, you could go 1-2 or 7-8 for Ottawa, Detroit, but I've got, based on the fact that Dylan Larkin, I think, is a legitimate 1 or 2 center of the future, and neither of the other 3 in Filppula and White or Tierney are. So next up at number 6, we have Florida. Now, just a quick funny story about Florida. I just assumed, I guess, and I didn't really check this until after, that it was Huberdeau and Barkov, and I was really wrong. I had them rated much higher, and thank God that I checked and found that out before I did this video, because I would have looked really stupid. But how it is in Florida is Alex Barkov, who is a really solid number one or number two center. His points totals should go up, I believe. And then you've got Alex Wenberg, who just came over from the Blue Jackets, and that's why I didn't have it right. And anyways, it's Wenberg behind him. He had 22 points only for the Jackets. I'm not sure. Do I have his numbers? Let me see if he was injured. 57 games, so he missed a little bit of time. As did Barkov, he only played 60, so you figure those numbers can go up. But still, they're only at 84 there. So maybe they hit 100 points, maybe a little bit more. Anyway, I have them at 6. I think they're deservedly there. So next up at number 5. Number 5, I was kind of waffling between two teams here, and I chose to put Boston. Now, Boston has the great Patrice Bergeron, 66 points last season. Did Bergeron miss any time? I think Bergeron and Krejci missed a little bit. They're both listed as 61 games, so I think they missed a little bit of time. Not a ton. So, their numbers could go up a little bit. But I just think that Bergeron's a little older. He could be at any time, any year, coming down off, on the downswing of the career. But he's a great player. I like Bergeron. I don't like the Bruins, of course. I don't. I'm a Habs fan. I've made that known. But this is a guy you can respect and like. And Krejci, definitely, maybe not the perfect number 2 center, but capable. And it's a good combo. I just think that the team in number 4 is ahead of them. And that is, and this might be a little biased, so you know now who I'm going to pick here is Montreal. So Montreal has Phil Deneau. And I do believe Phil Deneau will still be the number 1 center when the season starts. KK is still not ready. He's working his way in, and maybe by the end of the year, but I still don't think this is the year that KK takes the second spot and Suzuki moves up to the first. I just don't think that happens this year. So you got Phil Deneau, who, let it be known, he wants to be more of an offensive center. He's definitely a great shutdown guy on the defensive side, so a good two-way center, solid. And but he wants to be a little more offensive, so you might see his numbers be a little bit better. So between Deneau and Suzuki, 47 points, 41 points, so it was 88 points. And now Suzuki playing with Anderson, playing with Drouin, who he has a little bit of chemistry with, we saw in the playoffs. You got to figure his numbers are going to go up. I kind of expect Suzuki to hit around the 60-point mark, and you got to figure that Deneau can easily get into the 50-point total. So they're going to go up to somewhere around 110, a little bit more. So I think their numbers are going to be better. I think that they can compete with the top 2 Boston centers next year, and then going forward probably be better. And we'll start to see where Montreal and Boston's not a good matchup for Boston. But for right now, I'm banking on Suzuki's talent. He's emerging. He's going to get better, and that's going to lift them up over Boston. Number 3, I have Buffalo. Now, I had Buffalo lower, and when I rethunk this out before I put up a video, I raised them up. Jack Eichel, I don't think Suzuki matches Jack Eichel yet. Jack Eichel is a strong, like a bulldozer type of center. He just gets his way in. He wants to get to the net, he'll get to the net. He's a really talented guy. He's going to get a little bit more support than he's used to on the second. From the second guy now with Eric Stahl, who's a really experienced guy. He's on his downswing, but we got 47 points, or are they? 78 points for Eichel, 47 points last year with Minnesota for Eric Stahl. I don't see any reason why Eric Stahl can't get 50 to 60, somewhere in there, probably in the low 50s to 55 points, so a little bit of an increase. I think that's a good combo. I think they're good enough for number 3. And I do believe the other 2 that are ahead of them are better. So I don't think Buffalo Sabres fans can argue with me that they're at number 3. At number 2 is going to be, and you know what? I'm going to say this for the number 1 and 2. If you want to tell me the number 2, they should be in number 1. I can't really argue that point. Maybe it's a bias why I'm putting Toronto here, but it's Toronto. So Toronto has, obviously, Tavares, Austin Matthews, who, honestly, I don't really like those guys. But that doesn't take away their talent. They are big offensive producers, and they're going to continue to be big offensive producers. But my knock on them, and the reason why, other than a Leaf bias for me, is or a Habs bias for me, is I don't think that they have the same kind of killer instinct, the same kind of grit, the ability to step it up in the big games and win that the next group has, and that's why I've got Tampa ahead of them. So you got Tampa, I'll put the whole thing, Tampa Bay. That's Steve Stamkos and Braden Point. Steve Stamkos, if he's healthy, if Steve Stamkos, oh, let's say that 10 times fast. If he's healthy, he had 66 points last season in a season where he had played 57 games, so he missed some time. You got to figure that he's in a full season. I don't know how many games will be next season, but I'm going to base it on a full season. He's still capable of 75 to 90 points. Maybe 90 is a stretch, but 75 isn't. And Braden Point, who's young, still upcoming, got 64 points last season. A season where they were able to win the cup basically without Stamkos, who played only one game in the finals for like 3 minutes, and they won the cup without him. So Braden Point capable. Also got to look at his numbers probably coming up a little bit in the coming years. So I think without a doubt, as long as Stamkos is healthy, that's the best 1-2 punch. And this team is still capable. You remove Stamkos and they still have, was it Chiarelli? And I mean, they're still capable at center, but with Stamkos healthy, I mean, that's the best, I think. So before we end this, I'd like to just say, #Movember. I am growing my mustache. I'm going to shave again probably the rest of it. So this is for men's health awareness, for mental, physical health. And if you'd like to donate and help the cause, you can click on the link that's going to be in the description, and that'll take you to the site, and that tells you everything what you have to do. And it'll just, if you make a donation, it goes in Talking Habs name. So yeah, just that. I'm part of a group of hockey podcasters, and yeah, it just gets to separate it. But if you'd like to donate, I appreciate that. It's for a good cause, and that's #Movember. And also to remind you, please leave me any comment about the look of the video. Was it light enough, too bright, too blurry? Trying out a new lens, and let me know. And hopefully it looks good. I won't know until I rewatch it, actually. And then also, any comments you have about my picks, if you disagree with me. And I think for the Canadian division, all Canadian division possibility, I think it's pretty more straightforward. I think here, yeah, there's, you could feel that one team over the other. So let me know in the comment section what you think. If you agree, if you don't, and if you don't, let me know how you would put it out there. And if you're new to the channel, or you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe, ring the notifications bell. That's going to get you your daily fix of Bleu Blanc Rouge right here at Talking Habs. Thanks everybody for watching. I really do appreciate it. Please stay safe out there, and peace out, y'all. I'll see you next video. Bye, everybody.